Hi everyone, this is 2.4, number 9, part 3. So let's see, we're supposed to find equations for the functions and then find an equation for the area. So I hope the first part's not too bad to find if this is y equals f of x. To find its equation, it's just a linear function. It's a nice one because it goes through the origin. So I can count out that its slope is over 2 up 1. So I'm going to say that the equation for that is 1/2 x. And since we do have some restricted domains on all of these, I'm going to go ahead and add that. So I'm going to say 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 6. So it's the area that generally gives people some trouble. In this one, this is basically looking ahead to Calc 2. We're supposed to imagine that we start right here, and then we get to choose the x-coordinate of the right-hand side of our shape. So I'm just going to make an example. Let's say it's somewhere in here. And you have to remember that this is just one possibility. This could be anywhere. And I'm going to call this x equals a. That's my stopping point. And I want to find a formula in terms of a that will tell me no matter where I put that line, what the area is. So in this case, no matter where I put that line, I'm going to get a triangle. So it's just a matter of finding a general formula for the triangle. So this is going to be our a of x formula. And I know it needs to be a 1/2 base times height. And as always, you don't have to write this out, but this is your structure. And if you're kind of stuck getting started, this is a great first step. Okay, so now we want to say, here's the base, and how is that related to the x value that we chose, a? And in this case, it's actually exactly the x value that we chose. Whatever the base is, it will be that same value, a. So I'm going to say this is a. Excuse my messy writing. Okay, so 1/2 a, and then we need to also figure out the height. Notice that the height is just your y value, and we've already said that y is always 1/2 of your x value, and in this case our x value is a, so our y value is going to be 1/2 of a, which means our area function is 1/4 a, and again we would need 0 less than or equal to a less than or equal to 6. And again, the beauty of this whole thing is that that'll work no matter where you put a. So if you put a at 6, it'll give you the right answer. If you put a at 1, it'll give you the right answer. If you put a at 3.2, it'll give you the right answer. That's what we're going for. For the second one, same first piece. If this is our y equals f of x, this is another one that's fairly nice. It's a linear function. It's got a y-intercept of 6, and then it's got a slope of -2. So our equation is -2x plus 6, or my favorite way to write it, oh, I don't know why my stylus is going crazy, 6 minus 2x, and then we would have to say that 0 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 3, because that's where this one's cut off. And then when we go for the area, same idea, kind of draw an arbitrary x equals a. I try really deliberately to not put it right on one of those integer values, because then people get tricked into thinking they can just use x equals 1, and the idea is that this can move. So if x is 0.25, we're going to be way over here, and if x is 2.5, we're going to be in here. And we want a formula that works no matter where we are. So we want to kind of imagine general shape that we're painting here. Okay, so no matter what, even if we make it wider or skinnier, we're going to get a trapezoid. And you can use trapezoid formulas if you know them, but I generally just split that into 2 pieces and say, well, that's a rectangle and a triangle. So I'm going to say that my area function is the area of the rectangle. I'll zoom in a little. Ooh, sorry. Plus the area of the triangle. Wow. Let's try that again. Angle. Which means it's going to be like a, how do I want to say this? We'll say it this way. A length times width And again, write as much or as little of this as you need to, plus 1/2 base times height, which is going to get abbreviated because I'm running out of room. This is just building up my structure, but again, if you're stuck, this is a really great way to get started. Oh, and this I said is a function of x, but actually we're using a as our x value, and same in the last example. Okay, so rectangle. The length of the rectangle is right here, and that again is nice because it's just our a. Whatever x we pick, that's going to determine the base. The height of our rectangle is determined by our y-coordinate. We know that because this is where we hit the curve. So the y-coordinate on the line determines that. We've said that's the same as a 6 minus 2x. We're choosing x equals a, so this is going to be 6 minus 2a. And the triangle, the base of the triangle is the same as the length of the rectangle, so that's an a. And then the height of the triangle, there's more than one way to get this. It's right here, so if I call that h, I could see that h plus 6 minus 2a have to add up to 6. So h plus 6 minus 2a equals 6. And the 6's actually drop out of that completely, and we get that h is 2a. Another way to look at that is a similar triangle sort of thing. So or use the slope. The slope is -2, so this rise is always going to be twice as big as this run, and then we just don't care about the fact that it's negative because we're looking at triangles. So you can use similar triangles, you can use slope, you can use that they add up to 6, whatever you want. There's lots of ways to tackle these problems. We get that the height is 2a. So I am seeing a 6a minus a 2a squared plus an a squared, which means I have a 6a minus a squared. And even on how I set that up, there are other ways, so I'm just going to mention one and not get you too sidetracked. But I would say, let me pick a different color. Another way to look at this is we could say the area, the entire area underneath here is, what is it? It's 6 by 3, half of 6 times 3, so 18 over 2. So the total area is 9. And then we could find, when we cut it off at A, what's the area of the triangle we miss? And I would say that's a 6 minus A multiplied by, what is this going to be? Oh, that's our same height of our rectangle, which is a 6 minus 2a. So if we take 9 minus that, we would get the blue area minus. So there are lots of ways to approach these. Hopefully that gets you started. I'm going to post just this for now because it's already long, but let me know if you want to see the last 2 parts as well. Thanks for watching.